They stepped into the cage chasing gold, but the real treasure came after the final bell. In today's fight world, a handful of UFC veterans have done the impossible. They walked away from the sport and walked straight into greater fame, fortune, and freedom. While most fighters retire broke or forgotten, these three men flipped the script. In this episode, we're taking a closer look at Brendan Schaub, Francis Ngannou, and Jorge Masvidal, three fighters who earned more after leaving the UFC than during their fighting careers. We will break down exactly how much they made in the cage, reveal their biggest paydays, and show how they parlayed their name into power moves that keep the money flowing. Stick around because by the end, we'll ask which current fighters could follow in their footsteps and who has the best blueprint for post-fight success. First up is Brendan Schaub, the content king. Brendan Schaub's UFC career ran from 2009 to 2014, during which he compiled a 6-5 record. His paychecks, like many mid-level heavyweights at the time, hovered around $30,000 to show, with another $30,000 for a win. His fight at UFC 181 reportedly earned him $32,000, with his highest best reaching about $100,000 after bonuses. After 11 UFC fights, Schaub likely made somewhere between $300,000 and $500,000 total inside the octagon. But stepping out of the cage was the best move he ever made. After retiring, Schaub turned to comedy and podcasting. His show, Fighter and the Kid, co-hosted with comedian Brian Callen, quickly exploded in popularity. Combined with other shows like Below the Belt, stand-up comedy tours, merchandise, and sponsorship deals, Schaub reportedly brings in over 6 figures per month, putting his annual earnings somewhere between $1.5 to $2 million. Add in investments, production deals, and multiple revenue streams, and his net worth is estimated at over $6 million, more than 10 times what he earned during his fight career. Schaub's transition shows that the right personality combined with consistency and content creation can turn a fighter into a mogul. Up next is Francis Ngannou, the cage king who walked away. Francis Ngannou's rise was nothing short of cinematic. From working in sand mines as a child in Cameroon to UFC heavyweight champion, Ngannou became one of the sport's most feared strikers. But despite holding the title, he clashed with the UFC over pay. During his UFC run from 2015 to 2023, Ngannou is estimated to have earned between $1 million and $2 million total, with his biggest payday being around $600,000 for a title defense. For a champion, those numbers are surprisingly low, and that's exactly why he walked away. Then came the crossover moment. In 2023, Ngannou fought Tyson Fury in a boxing match that stunned the world. His payday, reportedly $10 million guaranteed, with additional pay-per-view bonuses pushing the total closer to $20 to $30 million. And that was just one fight. Ngannou followed it up with a bout against Anthony Joshua, which allegedly brought him another $20 million. In less than a year, he may have cleared over $50 million, making more in 2 boxing matches than his entire MMA career. And now, with multiple promotions bidding for his return to MMA, including the PFL, where he also holds an executive role, Ngannou has positioned himself as one of the most powerful athletes in combat sports. What's most impressive isn't just the money, it's the leverage. He walked away from Dana White, stood his ground, and ended up wealthier than ever. That's a blueprint very few could even dream of replicating. Up next is Jorge Masvidal, who went from street fighter to brand builder. Jorge Gamebred Masvidal was never supposed to be a star, but his charisma, street fight roots, and viral knockouts turned him into one of the UFC's most bankable fighters. Across his UFC career, Masvidal earned an estimated $5.45 million, including a $500,000 base purse, an additional $800,000 in pay-per-view and bonuses from his iconic UFC 251 fight against Kamaru Usman. His biggest single payday likely came from the BMF title fight with Nate Diaz, where he reportedly pulled in over $1 million with back-end bonuses included. But when he retired in 2023, he didn't slow down, he ramped up. Masvidal launched Gamebred FC, a bare-knuckle MMA promotion, and Icon FC, a feeder organization streamed on UFC Fight Pass. He also co-founded the Mezcal brand, appeared on AEW Wrestling, and has made moves into merchandise, real estate, and athlete management. Masvidal's post-fight annual earnings are estimated between $5 and $10 million, driven by a blend of combat sports promotions, alcohol branding, and celebrity endorsements. His current net worth is believed to be around $6 to $7 million, with major upside depending on how his businesses scale. He may not have the consistency of a Schaub or the mega payouts of Ngannou, but he's carving a lane that distinctly is his own. So having said all that, who of the three has the best blueprint? Brendan Schaub built a media empire from nothing but a mic and a work ethic. Francis Ngannou used his leverage and star power to cash in on mega fights and negotiate real control over his future. Jorge Masvidal diversified with street credibility and business instincts to stay in the spotlight and keep the checks coming. Each one took a different path, but they all left the UFC better off than when they entered, and that's rare. With a roster full of personalities, who could be next to make big money after the UFC? While most current fighters struggle to make ends meet, a few are showing signs of crossover potential. Israel Adesanya, with his fashion-forward style, gaming endorsements, and a sharp business mind, could easily pivot into entrepreneurship or media. His estimated net worth of $4 to $6 million will likely rise if he continues branding beyond the cage. Brandon Moreno, the beloved flyweight from Mexico, has a huge following and a marketable personality. With over $2.5 million in fight earnings already, his real value may come if he taps into Spanish language media, family-oriented content, or regional brand deals. And Colby Covington, love him or hate him, knows how to stay in the headlines. If he can find a niche beyond trash talk, he may have the potential to carve out a media or political lane post-fighting. But to beat Schaub, Ngannou, or Masvidal, it's going to take more than just winning fights. It'll take vision. So what does it take to win after the fight game? Schaub did it with consistency and content. Ngannou did it with courage and control. Masvidal did it with charisma and business hustle. These aren't just retired fighters, they're blueprints for long-term success. Which one do you think nailed the best path? And which current UFC star has what it takes to surpass them? Drop your answers in the comments below. Smash the like button if you respect the hustle, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell, because we're just getting started telling the real stories behind combat sports' biggest reinventions.